Okay, so this is probably one of the more detailed and almost sort of myopia focused videos in this playlist. We're going to just plan out exactly what we're going to be doing with the spine of the book. So it's probably notable that the headband and tailband consist of sort of small wooden sticks that have been obviously heavily bound, and the sticks have actually, this top one's actually broken in two, and you can see here in the middle there's a lot of unwinding of the thread that's happened that we're going to have to address. Similarly, at the bottom it's actually come off at the end here, and there's a lot of unwinding happening there of those loops that we're going to have to address as well. This is something we're going to have to do very, very carefully, and just take each, step at a time. These middle ribs here consist of a piece of vellum, which is the white material here, underneath, with on top in an extra reinforcing strip of leather. So this bottom one's probably the most complete example. You've got the vellum underneath that's been bound, and then the leather on top. And in certain places, both have been sort of tied in together. The bottom one's this one's probably the most complete example. In the middle, only the vellum remains. The leather's actually broken away here. It's a bit of leather here, a bit there, a bit here, but largely you've got this big gap. And up top here, this is actually more complete. It looks as though we have the complete leather and vellum together with the sort of secondary sort of twine around the leather binding them together, whereas here it's sort of incomplete. So I think what basically has happened is the actual cords, the pages themselves are tied into this vellum binding, but because vellum's a very flexible material, or would have been at the time, to give the book extra rigidity, a piece of leather was basically put in there as a brace and tied on again, and that leather's clearly sort of started to sort of fracture and come away. So the plan's basically going to be, first off is we want to stop these threads from unraveling any further. So the very first thing we're going to do is to secure those in the configuration of loops that they would have been when the stick was intact, same at the bottom. Then we're going to think about how we can safely replace the sticks in here, and what those sticks should look like, where we should get them. So we'll do that. And then we're going to think about, okay, how do we reinforce it all? And my plan's going to be to actually, for all 5 of these, once these have been repaired, is to actually put another layer of twine over them. So these will end up as quite strong, thick ribs and headband and tailband. And the idea there basically is this twine is also deteriorating. It's not going to last very long. And I think to restore the book properly, we need the strength of some newer twine acting as an extra brace to everything here. We're also going to have to think about replacing some of the leather here and here before bracing these with new twine as well. But I think I want to try and preserve the leather we have, simply because it just reduces the risk of something going horribly wrong. For example, if I were to undo that to replace the leather, I don't know, that could actually result in more trouble than it's worth. So maybe I'll just replace this section, maybe slip a new piece of leather under here, through to here, and then really strongly tie it all down with twine. Same here. So that's kind of the plan. I think the overall message I want to give is, this is something to really apply extreme patience to. If you've seen my videos, you'll understand that this is, I don't rush with anything, but this is certainly one to plan, and plan again. Just think about it, plan again. And when you do sit down to take on something like this, have some calming classical music on, have the fire lit, set aside a few hours, and just really take it step by step, very calmly and gently, with the idea of, Hippocratic oath, do no harm.